I'll hit it with a little more water, but I'm in the ballpark. You can see it, it's continuing, it's moved a little bit since then. We didn't have to add any more heat to it. And I might pull her a little more. Right now I'm into some places that are bent and some that aren't. I think probably back in here is where we need some heat. That's where it normally bends because you've got that strong back on there. So anytime you abuse that spike, that's where it bends because it'll bend where it's braced. And it's too right in there. That's where we'll heat it. A bend can have a lot of different components, and this is relatively simple. If you get into like a complex thing like that, let's say a beam, round tubing can be hard to bend sometimes. You don't get it right when you pull one way or the other. See, we're pretty straight right now. Then move from one side to the other. It's still moving back towards us where we want it. That's because it's heating it evenly. I heat it, let's say the left side more than the right side. Heat it cold for that left side. Watch me be a moron and go a little too far on this. Be just my luck. I don't want to. See, that went slack, which tells us it moved. I'm getting pretty close to where I want to be. Hit her again, see if we got enough cool down to bring her back anymore. Now that I like. I think I'm good. Yeah, it's serviceable. Now I'll just let her cool. Always wear infrared protection when you work with these torches. That infrared can really do you in. Can damage your eyes. A lot of guys think, well, it doesn't hurt my eyes, so it's probably not, doing any damage. Well, that's not necessarily true, You can have retina problems and not even be aware that it's happening until, I imagine, later in life. Well, I'd like to get this lit. There we go. There. I left my lighter in the house. We're just letting her air cool now. And I don't think the I'll just go ahead and cool it to the touch so it don't burn itself on it. Don't ever want to burn yourself on these things. That kind of ruins your day. Be amazed at just how hot that gets and how long it retains the heat. You also notice that when you weld on round stock. Round stock really accumulates heat for some reason. It doesn't seem to want to radiate it out very fast. That ought to be sufficient. Still can't really lay your hand on it for any length of time, but it's good. All right, now we'll take all the pressure off of it. These come-alongs are wonderful things, boy. Do just about anything you want with them. There. They're handy. If you do any metalworking or welding, have to move things. They're just handy, handy, handy. Okay, we'll get all that chain off of there. Anyhow, there you got it. They give you some idea how all this works, and I'm back ready to rock and roll again. Well, as much as I ever rock and roll, I'm not a rock and roll kind of guy. See, we're ready to go. I might have gone a little further with it, but that's good enough, because like I say, I'll probably bend it again within a few days. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll be a month or so before it happens again. Now on these, you can buy these torches pretty much from your, I imagine, from any welding supply. One I have is pretty nice. It comes from, what's that company? Oh, I forget now. It's Flame Tech. I'm running, it runs a lot of oxygen. I'm running it about 50 psi on the oxygen and about 15 psi on the propane. It uses quite a bit of propane, but it sure uses that oxygen. We started out with about 800-900 pounds on the meter. I'm at 400 pounds now, and you saw how very little it ran. It's an expensive little setup, but the alternative would be to manifold a bunch of acetylene bottles together in order to keep your draw rate safe. And you know, it wouldn't be satisfactory. That's even more expensive. Like I say, but anyhow, there you got it. And like, this will probably be part of a series one of these days on heat shrinking. Till then, y'all take care. I'm just finishing up a chocolate covered almond. That's good stuff. We pretty much saw what it did in the video, and I just figured I'll just add a little to it. Anytime you look at a bend on a piece of round stock, well, for that matter, just about anything, any kind of structural shape, you have an outside radius, inside radius. So she's stretched out here, and to some degree it's been compressed up in here. Now when you go to heat it, see that little wedge I got marked right there? That's how you want to heat it. Both sides, you know, here, well, there, across the top, on the side. You don't want to heat down in here. And you want to get it to the cherry red. And sometimes it'll take a while, like it did with me, because I had that's 2 1/4 round stock on that tractor. So, you know, it takes quite a bit to heat that. But the idea is to heat it in a wedge. Now, you're not going to actually be able to do that with this round stock. You're just going to focus your heat right up here, bring it around, and just the actual physics of that steel is going to mean there's less heat down here at the, I guess what they call that, the apex or whatever, I don't know, at the point of that triangle. So, and you want to get it heated as much through here as you can. In reality, you're probably only going to get it heated down to maybe that deep in there, somewhere around the central axis, neutral axis. But it's enough to cause it to bend. And now when we talked about restraint, or I talked about restraint, in something like this, you want your force coming this way. Not enough to bend it, because you're not bending it. It's this that's shrinking it. You saw there that there was no actual movement on that piece of steel until it started to cool. And that's heat shrinking, not heat working. But anyhow, so you want to apply the force this way, and not too much, you know, just enough to put some strain on it. Heat it, let it shrink, watch what it does. It'll come down a little, and you keep bringing it down a little. Pretty soon you're straight, or as near straight as you're going to get. I mean, you know, it just depends on what you want and how much time you want to spend at it. But anyhow, well, that's about all I really wanted to add, and it's no big mystery. I don't think it is. If you don't, I've got a full discussion of it on the website. But you know, even if you don't care to read that, I mean, I think as long as you get these basics, you're probably good to go. It would be a lot nicer to really understand what's going on, because it'll make you better at it. But if not, you know, at least I reached you this way. All right, you all take care. Before I forget, I do this all the time. When you're heating that, you want a dull red, and that's the color you want to see that metal get to once it's hot. And it should be dull red once you, even after you take the torch away from it. It should be red for a little while. Now you don't want to go any different color than that dull red, and that should be in the shade. Don't do it in the sun, because in the sun you won't be able to see it change color. If you starts looking orange or white, you've gotten it too hot, and that'll trash your steel. It'll change the properties of that steel, and you're going to lose a lot of strength in it. All right, that was it.